Just moments before she said, "I do," a man stood up and shouted, "You can't marry her, she's already my wife." The entire wedding froze. But what no one knew was that her in-laws had planned this all along. The dream wedding that almost was. Anaya had always dreamed of a wedding filled with love, laughter, and the presence of those who meant the most to her. After years of navigating heartbreak, expectations, and societal pressure, she had finally found peace in Ayan, a gentle, understanding man who loved her for exactly who she was. Their love story wasn't one of grand gestures or movie-style romance. It was built on quiet promises, late-night conversations, and shared dreams. And now, standing at the edge of her big day, Anaya felt like everything in her life had led to this perfect moment. The wedding venue looked like something out of a fairy tale. Soft white drapes fluttered in the breeze, delicate strings of marigold and jasmine hung gracefully from the arches, and a subtle scent of roses filled the air. Friends and family filled the seats, dressed in colorful traditional outfits, their smiles wide with excitement. The stage was set, the rituals were ready, and the air was thick with emotion, tears of joy, laughter echoing from every corner, and the buzz of celebration. Anaya was hidden away in the bridal suite, surrounded by her closest friends. She wore a deep red lehenga embroidered with gold, a small naat on her nose, and a dupatta that shimmered like starlight. Her mother held back tears as she adjusted Anaya's bangles, whispering blessings under her breath. For Anaya, it felt surreal. This was her moment, and she was finally stepping into a life she had always wanted. Meanwhile, Ayan was at the mandap, greeting guests and performing pre-wedding rituals with his parents. His eyes searched the crowd, clearly waiting for that one special glimpse of his bride. He couldn't stop smiling. Everyone around them believed this union was blessed, two kind souls finally finding each other in a world full of chaos. The band outside struck up a cheerful tune. The dhol players began their rhythm, signaling that the bride was ready to enter. People stood up, turning toward the entrance with anticipation. Anaya took a deep breath as her friends lifted her dupatta and led her forward. Her heart raced, but not from fear, from joy. She was about to marry the love of her life. As she walked toward the mandap, her eyes locked with Ayan's. He looked completely mesmerized. In that one glance, she felt every worry melt away. She didn't notice the one unfamiliar man slowly making his way into the crowd, eyes locked on her, hands fidgeting with a folded piece of paper. Everything seemed perfect, just like she had imagined. But sometimes, perfection is only a moment, and fate waits quietly, just a few seconds away, ready to unravel even the most beautiful dreams. 2. The unexpected guest. Just as Anaya reached the mandap, the dhol softened and the priest began chanting the mantras. Her heart fluttered with excitement, and Ayan smiled as he gently reached out to hold her hand. Their eyes met, filled with emotion, with love, with the kind of hope that only two people on the edge of forever could feel. Then, out of nowhere, a sharp voice echoed through the gathering. "Stop the wedding." The crowd turned almost in unison, confusion and shock rippling through the air like a wave crashing against the shore. A man, dusty and disheveled, stood at the edge of the crowd. His kurta was crumpled, his eyes bloodshot, and he clutched a crumpled piece of paper in one hand. The atmosphere, which moments ago was buzzing with joy, now turned heavy, as if someone had cut the strings of celebration midair. The man stepped forward, pointing at Anaya. "You can't marry her," he shouted. "She's already married." "To me." Gasps filled the air. Someone dropped their phone, a child began crying, and whispers turned into murmurs of disbelief. Anaya froze. Her feet refused to move, her mind went blank. For a moment, it felt like the world had tilted on its axis. Ayan's face twisted in confusion. "What are you talking about?" he demanded, standing up to confront the stranger. "Who are you?" "I'm her husband," the man replied. "We got married 2 years ago in Meerut. I have the certificate." He held up the paper for all to see, though no one could read from that distance. Anaya shook her head slowly, eyes wide. "I don't know him," she whispered, almost to herself. Her voice trembled as she looked around, first at Ayan, then at her parents, who were frozen in horror. "I've never seen him before in my life." Her mother's hands flew to her mouth. Her father stood up, furious, demanding security remove the man, but no one moved. Everyone was too stunned. The priest quietly stepped away from the mandap, unsure whether the ceremony would even continue. Ayan's parents, seated at the front, exchanged glances. But unlike others, their reaction wasn't one of surprise, it was controlled. Almost expected. Ayan turned to Anaya, his eyes filled with pain and disbelief. "Is he telling the truth?" he asked quietly. "Just tell me, Anaya." She shook her head again, more firmly this time. "I swear to you, I have no idea who this man is. Someone is setting me up." But the damage was already done. Guests were filming, murmuring, judging. Anaya felt their eyes pierce through her like knives. The perfect wedding had turned into a courtroom, and she was suddenly on trial, without evidence, without warning. As security finally stepped forward to escort the man away, he shouted one last thing that sent a chill down Anaya's spine. "Ask her in-laws. They know everything." And just like that, the dream wedding shattered, not from fate, but from a truth buried deep in betrayal. 3. A web of lies. As the man was dragged out of the venue, his words lingered in the air like poison. "Ask her in-laws. They know everything." Anaya stood still, trembling, her world spinning faster than she could process. Ayan looked torn, stuck between love and doubt. The crowd had begun to whisper again, and her once celebrated moment was now a spectacle. Back in the bridal room, Anaya sat in silence, surrounded by a few close relatives trying to console her. Her eyes were red but dry, there were no tears left. Her mind was racing, replaying every detail of the past few weeks. Months. Trying to figure out where this man came from. There was no wedding in Meerut. No secret past. Anaya had never even visited that city. She had always lived with her parents in Lucknow, focused on work, on building a future. Her life had been simple, clean, and transparent. But then, why did he say what he said? And more importantly, how did he get a fake marriage certificate? Later that evening, a copy of the certificate was found. Someone from the groom's side had handed it over to the wedding planner to prove the claim. Anaya's name was on it, misspelled, but close enough to spark doubt. The photo was hers, taken from her social media, photoshopped onto an old marriage form. The man in the picture? Blurry. Unclear. But the document had all the right stamps, making it look official. Ayan wanted to believe her. He really did. But as questions grew louder, pressure from his family mounted. "We told you something felt off about her," his mother whispered that night. "She's not from our background. We don't know what kind of people her family is. Maybe she's hiding something." This wasn't the first time she had sensed disapproval. Even during the engagement phase, his parents had been distant. courteous but never warm. There were always passive comments about her family being too middle class or not our type. Anaya had brushed it off, thinking time would heal all gaps. But now, it felt like those gaps had been dug deeper, like pits waiting for her to fall in. The truth was starting to form, not about her, but about the man who crashed her wedding. No one knew him. No one from her past could vouch for his story. A quick search revealed he had been involved in minor fraud cases before. His story had holes. And yet, he appeared exactly when the in-laws needed a reason to stop the wedding. Bit by bit, the puzzle started coming together. A man with no real connection, a forged certificate, and a perfectly timed appearance, it was too convenient. Too planned. Anaya's voice cracked as she whispered to herself, "They didn't want me from the beginning. And now they've tried to destroy me." The lie wasn't in her past, it was in the very people she was about to call family. 4. The in-laws' cruel plan. It didn't take long for the cracks to widen. The very next day, while the wedding venue was still being cleaned up, broken bangles on the floor, half-wilted flowers, and a stage that once held dreams now sitting in eerie silence, Anaya sat with her elder cousin Rima, going over every strange moment that had happened in the days leading up to the wedding. There were signs, Rima said quietly. Your future mother-in-law was never warm. She was always watching. Listening. I overheard her saying something to one of the family friends a week ago, that this wedding would never happen. I thought it was just drama. But now, that was the first thread. And once Anaya started pulling, the whole plan began to unravel. Her brother, who worked in digital forensics, took a look at the forged marriage certificate and traced the edits. The photo was lifted from her old Facebook post. The signature on the document was clearly copied and pasted, not even a match to her real signature. The man's ID? Fake. The address? Non-existent. Still, Anaya needed more. Then, out of nowhere, a call came that blew the lid off everything. The fake groom, the man who had crashed the wedding, had been caught by local police in connection with another minor scam. Under pressure, and with no loyalty to protect anyone, he finally confessed. I was paid to do it, he admitted. The name he gave? Mrs. Nisha Khan, Ayan's mother. Anaya's heart sunk, even though part of her already knew. The pieces fit too perfectly. The man told the police everything, how he had been approached weeks ago, given details about Anaya, told to study her photos, and fed a script to recite during the wedding. He was promised 1 lakh if he succeeded in stopping the wedding. The motive? Simple and cruel. She's not good enough for our son, Nisha had reportedly said. She's from a lower family, has no status. He deserves better. Someone who will match our name. Ayan, upon hearing the confession, was shattered. He confronted his mother, expecting denial, but instead got silence. She didn't speak, not because she was ashamed, but because deep down, she didn't think she had done anything wrong. I did what I had to do for my son, she finally said. One day, you'll thank me. That sentence was the final straw. Anaya, standing behind Ayan during that confrontation, looked at him for the last time. I loved you, she said softly, but I will never be part of a family that had to destroy me just to prove a point. Ayan tried to stop her. He begged, pleaded, even threatened to leave his family for her. But it was too late. She walked away, not because she was broken, but because she had finally seen the truth. They hadn't rejected her because she wasn't worthy. They had exposed themselves because they never were. 5. Truth, tears and a new beginning. The house that was once buzzing with wedding songs and blessings now stood in silence, heavy with shame. No music, no lights, no laughter, just the dull echo of a broken promise. Ayan sat across from his parents, his face pale, his eyes filled with disbelief and fury. He had heard every word of the confession. His mother's quiet justification played on a loop in his head. One day, you'll thank me. He stood up slowly. Thank you. His voice cracked. You humiliated the woman I loved, lied to me, and destroyed the most important day of our lives. And you want gratitude. His father, usually calm and composed, stepped in. Beta, we were only trying to protect you. This girl. She wouldn't have fit in. We were thinking long term. Your future. My future. Ayan snapped. You've ruined it. I'll never forget her standing there, heart shattered, while a stranger accused her of something she never did. You watched her fall apart, and you let it happen. He stormed out of the room, tears in his eyes, unsure of what to do, torn between blood and love. Meanwhile, Anaya had returned to her parents' home. The red lehenga she wore on the wedding day still lay untouched in her suitcase, the sindoor she never got to wear left in a silver box. But she didn't cry anymore. She sat by her window, sipping chai, watching the sky turn from golden to grey. A storm had passed, but she was still standing. Ayan showed up at her doorstep later that week. I left them, he said softly. I walked away. I couldn't live under the same roof as people who could plan something so cruel. Anaya looked at him for a long moment. Her heart ached, but not with longing, with clarity. I loved you, Ayan. Truly. But love isn't enough if it has to fight this hard to survive. He stepped closer. We can start again. I'll wait. We can build something new, away from them. She smiled gently. I already am. He looked at her, confused. I'm not going back to being someone's bride. Not yet, she said. I'm going to be someone's story, my own. I've decided to open a center for women who face public humiliation, false accusations, and emotional abuse. What happened to me shouldn't happen to anyone else. Ayan's eyes filled with tears, not of rejection, but of realization. She was rising. And this time, no one could stop her. He nodded. You'll be amazing. I already am, she said, smiling through strength that came from pain. They stood in silence for a while. Then he turned and walked away, maybe forever. And Anaya? She didn't look back. Because sometimes, new beginnings aren't about weddings or love stories. They're about choosing yourself after the world tries to break you.